as does a new season of OU basketball. Porter Moser makes his regular season debut on the sidelines inside the Lloyd Noble Center. It's the Oklahoma Sooners hosting the Northwestern State Demons out of the Southland Conference in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Happy Veterans Day. Good to be courtside at the Lloyd Noble Center with Brendan Manzer. I'm Chad McKee. We got a glimpse of Porter Moser and the Sooners last week in exhibition play. Brendan, they made 18 threes and scored 106 points. I don't know that they'll do that every single night, but what should we expect?
I'll tell you what, you make 18 threes, you're going to win a few basketball games. But no, seriously, I think that what we saw was really a little glimpse of what Porter Moser is as a coach at both ends of the floor. 18 threes. They had 25 assists on their 39 makes. They made the extra pass. They share it well. It really moved. It didn't stick on the offensive end. And then defensively, except for a small stretch in the second half, I thought the intensity was really good from the entire team, even late when they were up by a lot. And that's something that he wants to do, is establish a defensive identity.
He had to rebuild the roster, basically, with 8 transfers. But there are 3 holdovers from the Lon Kruger era. One of them is Elijah Harkless, and he's our Sooner to Watch, presented by OU Health. What does this guy provide to this team?
Well, first and foremost, Harkless has tremendous toughness. He's a competitor, and where that really has shown up last year was on the defensive end, and he's an excellent rebounding guard. Now, obviously, Oklahoma lost a lot offensively. Porter Moser wants him to step up there. I think he's an improved shooter, but look for him to attack off the bounce more this season.
And Elijah Harkless is in our Sooners starting 5, presented by Flogistics, maximizing your resources. So he is a holdover along with Umoja Gibson and that guy, Jalen Hill. We will see the Duke transfer, Jordan Goldwire, and last year's Big Sky Conference Player of the Year, Tanner Groves, who will jump center for the Sooners. Set to go. Season opening time for Sooner basketball. And Oklahoma gets the first look of the night against a man-to-man for the Northwestern State Demons. Umoja Gibson made 4 threes in the exhibition contest last week. This is Goldwire. Hill cut off down on the baseline. 10 seconds to shoot. They say it went off of Jalen Hill. So the Sooners give it away. A solid defensive possession for Northwestern State. There is Porter Moser, and here are Brendan's keys, presented by Riverwind. Still the one.
Yeah, transition defense. Northwestern State's going to really push, try to find threes, hit those bigs as rim runners. That's first and foremost. And then secondly, we talked about it just a couple of minutes ago, Chad. Oklahoma wants to continue under Porter Moser to move the basketball, make that extra pass, and get a better look.
Harkless has the ball stripped by Reed. Terrence Reed then is fouled on his way to the basket the other way. We'll see if they get Jordan Goldwire, and they do. So Sooners have given the ball up a couple of times on their first 2 trips.
Yeah, an uncharacteristic, I think, of this team. Didn't turn it over much. Porter Moser's crew, as you see, his first season here at Oklahoma, and what a job he has done leading up to his time, and Joe Castiglione getting him in the offseason.
Porter Moser in his final 4 seasons at Loyola Chicago, 2 trips to the NCAA Sweet 16, and a Final Four appearance in 2018. Sustained success with the Ramblers.
Yeah, we talked a lot about this in the exhibition, you and I, Chad, that he, you know, it wasn't a one-hit wonder where he made this one run in the NCAA tournament and became the flavor of the month in terms of larger universities wanting him to coach. You know, the Sweet 16 last year, I think, was solidified that even more, but he's done a great job for years.
Sooners get an opening dunk offensively from Tanner Groves. 3 ball out of the deep corner by Cedric Garrett, missed. Rebounded inside by Coleman, who flushes it back home.
Yeah, great spacing and a great offensive possession last time for Oklahoma, but you saw how quick Northwestern State gets it in transition. That was off a make. Oklahoma has to be aware of that. They're excellent in offensive transition.
Jalen Hill, this is a 3. He was behind the line, so Jalen Hill knocks one home.
Well, I've always liked Hill, Chad. Just a smart player, good defender, takes good shots on the offensive end.
And Jalen Hill became a starter by season's end, just such a versatile player. Started both Sooner games in the NCAA tournament to close last season. Guy that has improved his offensive skill set. Shot clock down to 10 for the Demons. Brian White goes to work. 5'6", steps back for 3 and barely grazes the rim. And they say that Cedric Garrett jumped from out of bounds. There's Mike McConaughey, 23rd season as head coach at Northwestern State. This guy just gets it. He's been around the game. He's taken 2 teams to the NCAA tournament. He likes this bunch, in particular the size that they have inside.
Yeah, he's got a great mix of some nice bigs, excellent guard group. He has veterans. He has transfers. And he's got some young players. They're going to be really good for him. So the roster is well balanced.
Larry Owens nearly came up with the steal. Instead, it'll be a foul against the Demons' Cedric Garrett.
You can see here early on, the Demons are not intimidated. I mean, they're putting pressure on Oklahoma defensively. This is something that Mike McConaughey teams do. They try to extend you and pressure you, and Oklahoma's been a little bit careless and not real strong with the basketball here in the early going.
Goldwire for 3. Well, the Sooners made 18 threes in the exhibition. They've already made 2 tonight.
I tell you what, if Goldwire gets, Chad, where he does that a couple times a game, look out. Because he's a good game manager, excellent on-ball defender on the other end of the floor. Came to Oklahoma for the opportunity to maybe be a little bit more of a scorer.
Turnover there against the Demons. Not only 18 threes, but by 6 different players in that exhibition game.
Yeah, again, that goes back to the sharing of the basketball, the extra pass. It just doesn't stick with his teams.
8-4 Sooners, back-to-back threes by Hill and Goldwire, and a foul. You're going to get White.
Now it's called on Brian White, 0. That's his first.
Here's that 3, Chad, from Goldwire. And White goes underneath the screen, and that allows Goldwire to be comfortable. And that's a good shot for him. And he can make those. Nice job of squaring up, and that'll keep the defense honest from here on out.
Early appearance for Alston Mason at the point guard spot. Freshman from Overland Park, Kansas, Blue Valley Northwest High School. It's a high school that Porter Moser has some connections to. Emoja Gibson off with that 3, and they say not touched either by Brian White. Crowd not liking that very much here at the Lloyd Noble Center. I think Emoja was trying to draw a foul there. The whistle just didn't come. Brian White at 5'6", he is the shortest scholarship player in Division I basketball, but he's a good one. Veteran for the Demons. Inside physicality from Kendall Coleman, and he can do that.
Boy, that was great screening action on the weak side cut. A really good hard cut off of that from Coleman for the easy deuce.
Harkless launches. Rebound tracked down by Brian White. 8-6 Sooners. Approaching 4 minutes in. Harkless, tight defense on White. All the way out near midcourt. Porter Moser up, applauding the effort of his senior guard. Shot clock down to 12. White circles the bucket. Coleman inside Owens. And that's the danger with this Northwestern State team. The high-low, big-to-big passing.
And a really good decision by Coleman right there. Had a wide-open jumper, but you saw Owens show his hands to make known that he was available. That's a good high-low action right there between the 2 bigs from Northwestern State.
A step-back 3, Groves a screen, and Gibson's off the mark. You asked Mike McConaughey about these 2 bigs in particular, in Owens and Coleman, and he said, I don't think we've had a duo together like these 2.
And the thing will be, when they, especially they get into conference play, Chad, can those 2 guys play together on the defensive end of the floor where you have smaller lineups in their league? That'll be the key, being able to play them at the same time.
Here's Owens, and he gets a friendly roll. Northwestern State back on top. They've scored 6 straight.
So what I'm looking for in Oklahoma right now, Chad, is the shots were falling the whole game against Rogers State in the exhibition. Now when they're not, do you read tempo and make sure you work inside out to get those looks when they're not going down?
A Sooner turnover sends us to break as Oklahoma turns it over for the 2nd time tonight, trailing 10-8, 5 minutes in Porter Moser's debut as Sooner head coach. Sooner basketball presented by OU Health. Fans still filing into the Lloyd Noble Center to see Porter Moser's debut as Sooner head coach. Jenny Baranczyk is making her Sooner women's coaching debut tonight up in Vermillion, South Dakota, as they're taking on South Dakota up there. We will have a doubleheader. How about this? 10:30 a.m. for the women, 7 p.m. for the men on Friday. Come spend the day in Norman watching both Sooner basketball teams. You do have to pay 2 admission prices, though, unless you find a bathroom that you can like sneak into and stay and they don't run you out of here, Brendan.
Are you
not that I recommend
that. In early season game shape to do 2 broadcasts in
Absolutely.
one day?
I was ready to go about a month and a half ago. Bring it.
You going to take a nap in between?
Absolutely not. Maybe a couple trips to Starbucks. So Porter Moser's debut, the exhibition game, he was really excited about 25 assists on their made baskets, sharing the basketball, a lot of extra passing.
You're going to hear this a lot from him, from us, anybody that broadcasts games. The spacing and the ball movement. You saw right there, 4 out, 1 in around Groves. Quick ball movement, and you see Hill right there, Chad, able to catch in rhythm and shoot the basketball. If you do not close out on Oklahoma, in other words, be there on their perimeter shooters, right on the catch, they're going to pick you apart.
Northwestern State, a 6-0 run. Sooners made their first 3 baskets. They've missed their last 3, and that wasn't a clean catch by Ginty, and he traveled with the basketball. Zurabi Ginty, Republic of Georgia native, a couple of years at Southeastern Community College in Iowa. He's entered for the Demons. Mike McConaughey, he will change as many as 5 guys in and 5 guys out from time to time. He will shuffle them in and out. This is Sooner freshman C.J. Nolan. Inside handoff, and Shagwa is there to lay it in. Ethan Shagwa.
Well, Nolan known as a really good spot-up 3-point shooter, but they have also talked about his ability to get downhill with that size once he gets the angle, and I love how the freshman comes into the game and they get something in the paint.
I mean, he is a tank who can get to the bucket like that. A little off with the shot with C.J. Nolan. Demons back the other way. This is Emarion McDonald, who has checked into the game, one of the highest recruited players in Northwestern State history. This is him with the ball.
Yeah, got a chance to be really good. Offensively, he's ready to play at this level. It's the defensive end, the physical nature of this level. See right there, Goldwell right behind. That is what he will learn to do over time. But he's going to be an excellent player for Mike McConaughey. That's
a 4-year player against a freshman. Foul is on the floor on McDonald.
5-year player.
5-year player. Yeah. Duke transfer. So talk about Goldwire is a guy, he was all ACC defensive team at Duke. Not asked to score a lot, but that doesn't mean he can't score.
No, exactly. I mean, you look at the guys that he's played with. Nice job of Jacob Groves right there, but travel is called. But, you know, in terms of Goldwire, Chet, I mean, he played, listen to some of these names, teammates. Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, Marvin Bagley Jr. Yeah, probably don't necessarily need you to score. Oklahoma needs him to score some. Now, his job will be much like it was at Duke. He's got to manage the ball club, get him a good look every possession, and be a team leader defensively. But definitely a guy that can step up, and I think that he will.
Jovan Zellenbaba, the handoff to Jalen King, and inside getting free again is Kendall Coleman.
Coleman is really, really talented. Had a great freshman year last season. Gives him some length defensively. You saw a couple times already offensively. He's got some raw ability.
Nolan scoots to the rim. He thought Mason was over on the wing, but Mason had already vacated. And as a result, Sooners turned it over for the 4th time.
Right. Good decision right there. Again, you like that's a 3rd time Nolan has gotten downhill. And you can certainly live with that. Simple dump down to Shagwa was right there, though.
So here is Kendall Coleman, who's off to a good start. He's got 6 points in the early going. And Mike McConaughey told us earlier, as we get an illegal screen set by Coleman, he said this guy is the key for us. Was off to a good start as a freshman a year ago, Brendan, including a good game against TCU in which he had 17 and 12, but then he hit a wall. And this is a year he's got to play through that.
Yeah, you see that a lot with freshmen, and it's not a knock on Coleman or any young player. That happens a lot. But you look at last year, COVID season, less games. You didn't have the summer to prepare, less practice time. So the potential of that happening was even more accelerated. And look for him to be more consistently good this season. And it's like anything else in life. Once you've been through something one go-around, typically you know what to expect and you play with confidence.
Shagwa flashing free. He'll go to the foul line off the delivery from Goldwire.
That was on Brian White at Northwestern State. That's his second.
Now watch this right here, Chad. This is great spacing. Here's Goldwire. Keeps his dribble. I see drags the defenders. And then White on the weak side gets caught hugging up. And that allows Shagwa to fly to that open space. You know, it was interesting the other night. 18 threes from Oklahoma against Rogers State. But I was really impressed with Shagwa. Ball moves with him, sees the floor well as a big. I think he's going to be a guy that Coach Moser can put at the high post, short corner, and facilitate as a big. I think he's going to be a huge asset offensively for Oklahoma in that way.
He led the Sooners with 5 assists in that game. And Porter Moser said his first 5 possessions on the floor couldn't have been much better in the exhibition. And there he is diving on the floor for that loose ball. He was a 3-point shooter, made a bunch of them during his time at SMU. So he adds that element when he's on the floor. Timeout. Northwestern State, 12-10 early lead. 11:57 to play here in the opening half. Sooner basketball is presented by OU Health.
Thank you to our cornerstone television partners, OU Health and Anheuser-Busch, and our community partners, Fowler Auto Group, OU Health, OG&E, and Coca-Cola.
The National Basketball 2 nights.
Your series history is presented by Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut. This is the 7th all-time meeting between the Sooners and the Demons. Oklahoma has won the 6 previous meetings. There have been a couple of close ones over the years. Mike McConaughey's teams, they go on the road and play a brutal schedule. But the last time Northwestern State was in the house, you and I called this game and watched history from Trey Young, Brendan.
What I remember is 22 assists.
Yes, 22 assists for Trey Young, which tied the NCAA record. He had 26 points and 22 assists in this game.
I mean, obviously, that is starting to translate on the next level. I mean, special offensive player. You know, his freshman year at Oklahoma, obviously we covered him a lot. We got into Big 12 play. You know, I had Oklahoma several times. And so when you have a great player offensively like that, you know, there's one of his 22. That's smart right there.
Yeah.
Way to record. But it's you know, how do you describe his game? But I thought I'd not seen a guy in the college game that got downhill so fast and was still able to make the right decision. You know, as fast as he played and not get out of control.
Shot clock is at 1 here for the Demons. King doesn't realize it, and the Sooners force a turnover out of that timeout. Trey Young, the other thing, such a great ambassador for Oklahoma basketball, spreads the love, spreads the word about his team. But that was the night we knew how special he could be against Northwestern State here. Solid defensive set there for the Sooners. And I think the Demons, more than anything, just didn't realize the shot clock when they came out of the timeout. There's Harkless. Goldwire scrapes it up and scores.
Yeah, good awareness right there by Goldwire not to give up on the play. Owens and a teammate mishandled that for the Demons.
This is Zellenbaba giving it up out front. Shot clock's already at 15 as Brian White goes to work against Democh Gibson. Trying to post Owens inside, but Tanner Groves doing a pretty solid job in there. Arced up by White, did not hit the rim, and it's out of bounds off of Owens.
You know, when you watch Oklahoma defensively, and you talk about Harkless and Goldwire especially, and I think you can throw in Gibson, you should, in the very least, have 3 tremendous on-the-ball defenders. And Gibson did a great job on that possession, just keeping in front. And then Goldwire and Harkless, who have a little more size, can get up in guys that much more and not only keep in front but also disrupt.
Flashing free is Groves, and Goldwire's starting to find his teammates.
Doing a great job of managing the half-court sets right now. And Tanner Groves just took 3 shots in 18 minutes the other night. But I don't want people to think that's indicative of what's going to happen. I mean, he's not going to score 35 every night like he did against Kansas in the NCAA tournament. But he's going to take what the defense gives. And you're seeing him a little more involved offensively here so far tonight.
I feel like he will probably be the Sooners' leading scorer before the season is over with. He had been in preseason camp. Just took 2 points in the exhibition game, but he's getting off to a pretty good start tonight. That's another easy lay-in.
I just love the spacing from Oklahoma. I mean, it just makes it difficult on their cuts to defend with the way Oklahoma can pass it as a team.
6-0 Sooner run, and Oklahoma leads it 16-12. Northwestern State taking a timeout just under midway through the opening half here in Norman. Sooners looking solid early on in Porter Moser's coaching debut at the Lloyd Noble Center.
Taco.
Out of the timeout, Northwestern State right back to work. Owens misses. Here comes Harkless in full attack mode. And Coleman rebounds for the Demons. Jordan Potts left open. Coleman the rebound and fouled by one of the Groves. We'll see if they get Jacob or Tanner. They get Tanner Groves with his first. This player here, though, Kendall Coleman, 6'8", Shreveport, Captain Shreve High School. Led Northwestern State in blocks and rebounds. Does the dirty work. And this offseason, he had a chance to go play in Macedonia with an Athletes in Action team. And Mike McConaughey said that gave him a little validation. I can play with these guys and at this level.
Well, you go play against stronger, more experienced people, and you have success, which he did, and it gives you confidence. I mean, this Coleman is really talented. I mean, it's a guy that has a potential, a lot of versatility. We've seen some of it tonight. You mentioned, Chad, him leading the team in rebounding last year. He only played 17 minutes a game.
Moja Gibson off the mark with that one. So Moja 0 for 3 from the field to start. Goldwire aggressively defending Jordan Potts. And Zellenbaba. That's the first on C.J. Nolan, is who they whistle it against. And a quick change. You see Alston Mason is back out. 16-12 Sooners. 9:06 left here in this opening half. Zellenbaba just off with that one. Kind of short-armed it. See Rick Isanza, the 7-footer, in the lineup for the Sooners. There's Rick underneath. And that's saved nicely. Zellenbaba to Larry Owens.
I'll tell you what, Goldwire is really creating for teammates. I mean, right there, Hill doesn't hit it, but he did everything correctly to get him a wide open look. Rejected the ball screen, drove it down the paint, forced the help, and the pass was perfect. He's really managing the ball club great in the half court tonight.
Isanza posts inside, trying to hold off the thicker Owens, and Owens is able to come up with the loose ball. Sixth Sooner turnover in the first half. 8 minutes to play. Zellenbaba Rubs off a screen from Coleman. And you got that high-low action with Owens and Coleman, but they can't work it in. Owens around to Sansa. No. Umoja Gibson. Gibson attacks, blows by his man, and kisses one off the window. Sooners have scored 8 straight to take a 6-point lead. Well, largest lead of the night.
Yeah,
here.
And that's the defensive end has been solid. And that's what's buying Oklahoma time to get it going on the offensive end.
There's some rim protection. Oh, if he can give them that, Brendan.
Yeah, he's really the only one on the roster that has that potential, that kind of rim protection.
That went halfway down and out for Umoja Gibson.
And whatever Rick Asanza, whatever his minutes end up being, Chad, those are the type of things that he has to do when he's in there.
Timeout on the floor. Sooners on an 8-0 run have their largest lead to this point, 6 points with 7:07 left in the half.
Taco.
Sooner basketball is presented by OU Health. You get some looks at the crowd tonight watching the Sooners go on an 8-0 run, and the big story has been Oklahoma's defense. Northwestern State is on a near 6-minute scoring drought. They've missed their last 8 from the field, Brendan.
Yeah, they started off 4 of 7 from the floor to begin the game. If you remember, a couple looks inside to Coleman and Owens. They're 2 bigs. But as you mentioned, over the last 4 or 5 minutes, it's been outstanding. And it's really been predicated out front, like we talked about. On-ball defense has been excellent. You know, hey, I really don't say a whole lot different from game to game. To me, basketball is the same. But if you don't give up dribble drives, there's no help forced. It kind of keeps that defense intact. And the one time they did recently, the Demons get to the paint, Rick Asanza's sitting there. And so I love how, and I mentioned Gibson, Harkless, and also Goldwire specifically are keeping guys in front. It's important.
Marion McDonald back at the controls, the freshman for Northwestern State. Freshman on freshman there, guarded by Alston Mason. Got a little bit of breathing room. Rebounded by Robert Hugas, whose brother Nikos is a former Northwestern State Demon and now playing over in Greece professionally. Shot clock is at 8. Terrence Reed rubs off the screen. McDonald's got to get one up. And the Groves brothers right there to clean things up. Jacob will get the rebound.
And going back to Oklahoma's defense, every time the ball is moved for the Demons, Oklahoma is right there on the catch. In addition to, they have them extended out 22, 23 feet from the rim.
He also has 3-point potential, does Tanner Groves.
Yeah, 35% 3-point shooter last year at Eastern Washington.
Follow shot by Hugas, no good. Here comes Alston Mason. Northwestern State's missed 11 straight, and the Sooners turning it into points as Alston Mason has his first bucket.
Yeah, and again, defensive stops. Offense not coming quite as easy as it was in the exhibition, but scoring off those defensive stops.
And the answer comes from Kendall Coleman. Shows he's got some floor game as well. That ends a streak of 12 misses in a row for Northwestern State. Nolan turns the corner and gets to the window. I mean, he gets that elbow into you and you're not getting the ball back.
He shows ball, and it's a really good ball or shot fake. And you have to extend out on him because he's got a really nice 3-point touch.
Coleman again. That was a 2 with Tanner Groves right there in his face. And he's got 10 now.
Yeah, and he's really helping bail out Northwestern State offensively the last couple possessions because Oklahoma's defense has been so good.
Tanner Groves rinses this one.
There you go.
last year's Big Sky MVP, had 35 against Kansas in the NCAA tournament. And he's showing you what he can do tonight.
Inside out ability. You know, there's Coleman again.
Coleman's a problem as he bangs that one home. 12 for Coleman tonight. And the Sooners are going to sub. Harkless is back in.
Here's that last possession, Chad. Here's Groves. You get attacking on the baseline. Watch C.J. Nolan finds the window of Tanner Groves spotting up. And I love how the Oklahoma shooters have quick releases because they have such good footwork as the ball is traveling to them. They've got all that work out of the way so that they can catch and shoot in rhythm.
Jacob Groves going to be called for an offensive foul. He's kind of over-penetrated along that baseline, and he ran right over Terrence Reed. It's the first foul on Jacob Groves.
Boy, Coach Moser really likes Jacob Groves. Chad, are you picking up on that?
Yes.
When we talk to him?
He has reason to. We're talking about long, athletic. He said, I think he's still growing, and he's making shot after shot after shot. If he can be good defensively, he's going to be big time.
Yeah, he just needs to be in the right spots.
Porter Moser taking a timeout after they give up dribble penetration, and Cedric Garrett scores. He's a transfer from Murray State, 2 years there, so he has 3 years left at Northwestern State, does Cedric Garrett. But Porter Moser not going to allow that type of deep dribble penetration by his team. So the Sooners on this roster, it is 8 transfers, a tie for the most among all major conference teams. Porter Moser said, look, we didn't have many guys on the roster when I arrived. Of course, you'd had guys in the NFL or in the NBA like an Austin Reeves, Brady Manick transfers out. You get Devion Harmon transfers out. There just weren't that many guys on this roster. He talks Rick Asanza right there into staying. You got Jalen Hill was staying around, Emoja Gibson, Elijah Harkless. But then you've still got a lot of places to fill. He did extremely well with it.
He did a great job, like a lot of coaches are doing now, of using the transfer portal. Now, Bijan Cortez out of Kingfisher and C.J. Nolan were signees by Lon Kruger. But the other 7, that was a work by Porter Moser in a short period of time. And it's not just about signing 7 bodies that can play at this level. You have to find pieces. And so you get a floor general in Goldwire. You get the Groves brothers that have versatility offensively inside out. Shagwa for depth. Maywin for post depth. But his first signee was Mason, the freshman, who he really likes. That was probably a little bit overlooked. And once he signed him, then it was, I've got to get pieces and formulate my roster. And really did a marvelous job in getting the pieces, because sometimes when you're scrambling like that, you end up with a lot of the same guys. They don't have that. I mean, he has some options and versatility within his roster.
And he had the previous relationship with Alston Mason. He was recruiting him at Loyola Chicago. But the big get to me was to get Jacob Groves and Tanner Groves, who had watched Porter Moser's teams at Loyola play. They loved his style and decided to follow him to Oklahoma. So Porter Moser, you replace Lon Kruger, a Final Four head coach, Hall of Fame human being, future Hall of Fame head coach, with Porter Moser. You've got 6 coaches in this league who have taken a team to the Final Four. And our Big 12 preseason poll presented by Landers Auto Group, Chris Beard to Texas, where he's brought in some transfers. They are loaded. Baylor's the defending national champ. Texas Tech, Oklahoma State loaded, and a guy named Huggins that coaches out in Morgantown. I mean, this league is a monster, Brendan.
Well, for the last 8 years, I think in Ken Palm ratings, 6 of those 8, it's been number 1, and it's been in the top 2 each of the last 8. It'll be in the top 2 or 3 conferences again this season. And every year there's turnover with players and guys going to the next level. And nationally, outside the Big 12 area, people forget. I mean, they reload. But the biggest reason is, and I was literally talking to Joe Castiglione this afternoon at shoot-around about this, what an unbelievable coaches league this is. And I promise you can add Porter Moser to that.
And you canvass all of the other coaches in the Big 12. They have great respect for this man on the Sooner sidelines.
Well, you know, it's only been, you know, a month or so since we've been around him, but I'm telling you, he is a excellent teacher. I mean, he has a plan. He knows what he wants. He communicates well with the players, and you can see it on plays like that.
Umoja Gibson's first field goal of the night. He made 4 threes in the exhibition contest, and that's his first triple tonight.
Well, I love the quick release of Gibson. I mean, at his size, he has to at this level. Just a tremendous catch and shoot player, able to do that in rhythm and transition on that one.
Sooners by 8. This is a 3 that's good by Genti. Zarabi Genti. He's a JUCO transfer, 3 years left, and he can really do that right there, shoot it.
Yeah, he's a stretch forward at that 4 and 5 spot for Coach McConaughey. Saw it right there.
And a loose ball foul underneath on Jalen Hill of the Sooners.
I'm telling you, this Northwestern State team has got a chance to be really good. They'll have a chance to win their league legitimately. I think they, along with probably Nichols, New Orleans, Southeast Louisiana, those are probably your 4 that have the best chance to win the league. They don't even have Carvel T-Set, who's their starting point guard. Because of academics, they don't have him first semester. They'll get him back sometime mid-December. So, you know, as well as Oklahoma's played defensively, I mean, this is a 5-point game.
Here comes Goldwire. And a whistle and a foul off the ball as you've got Tanner Groves tangled up in there with Genti. That's the first foul on Genti. 2 minutes left here in the opening half. As Brendan said, 5-point game. Sooners have led by as many as 8. Goldwire trying to circle to the bucket. Back out high, Tanner Groves. Jalen Hill out-muscles everyone for the rebound underneath. And then a foul. That'll only be 6, though, against the Demons. So the Sooners will win that.
This is a really good offensive rebound. And it wasn't Hill out-jumping his opponent. It was him holding the seal or the block off until it was time to actually go get the basketball. Good discipline right there to body up and wait.
Sooners trying to post Tanner Groves in there. Harkless attacks. Hill, great find. And Terrence Reed ties up Groves. The held ball. Possession arrow heads the other way.
Tanner's headband.
Think there was a little contact somewhere.
Adjust it right there.
It's got a little bit of a Bill Walton look, right? You see that old UCLA days? Am I dating myself, Brendan?
Who's Bill Walton?
Stop it.
I'm just kidding. Yes, you are dating yourself.
Coleman squares up. It's rebounded by King, and he puts it back in. We have a 3-point game.
I tell you what, it looked like Oklahoma, when they got up, what was it, Chad, 8, was getting ready to bust it open. But this Northwestern State team has shown tremendous toughness and hanging around. Lots of good things they'll have to talk about going into halftime.
They played the Sooners within 3 with less than a minute left here in this first half. Goldwire with 3 on the shot clock. No. Northwestern State can tie with a made 3, but Jalen Hill plays defensive back and picks off that pass. That would make Oklahoma defensive coordinator Alex Grinch smile, I think. 5 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Hill Over to Goldwire. Shot clock at 2. Tanner Groves off the mark. 5 seconds left in the half. Marion McDonald trying to tie it at the buzzer, does not. Northwestern State hanging around in Porter Moser's debut as Sooner head coach. Oklahoma led by as many as 8, but it's a 3-point ball game, Brendan.
Goldwire has been really good, Chad. And without him, Oklahoma may not have the lead, but they'll regroup. Coach Moser talked to his ball club and hopefully come out the second half, those first 4 or 5 minutes, and get after it.
Sooners by 3 at the break. Oklahoma basketball is presented by OU Health.
Sooners Sports TV is brought to you by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Riverwind Casino, still the one. Phlogistics, maximize your resources. Kincaid Coach Lines, the official motor coach carrier of Sooner Athletics. The best place to gear up for game day is shop.soonersports.com.
Welcome back to halftime inside the Lloyd Noble Center. The season opener for the Oklahoma Sooners and the Northwestern State Demons. Porter Moser's debut as head coach at Oklahoma. 17 seasons overall as a Division I head coach. And in his last 4 years at Loyola Chicago, 2 trips to the NCAA Sweet 16, including a trip to the Final Four in 2018. The new Sooner head coach. He was kind enough to let us mic him up in practice.
Now let's get better right now. Guards, bigs. Bigs right there, guards right here. Here we go. Nice pass. I mean, every step something evolves, and now it's 5 out. Now it's this, that. Well, it's evolved past. It's not my personality to talk on the court. Those days are over. So now, if you're not in, what are you doing? If you're coaching it up, coach it up. I love that habit, Bijan. Keep doing it. Get your voice included. Your program moves forward based on how the younger guys see what the older guys do. And the older guys got to do right. Bring it in.
More of your halftime show is coming up from inside the Lloyd Noble Center. You're watching Sooner basketball presented by OU Health.
Sooner Sports TV is brought to you by Pizza Hut, official pizza of the Sooners. Taco Mayo, big appetite, bigger savings. Download and save today. When you can't be at the game, Sooner Sports TV has you covered. On the air and on the web at Soonersports.tv. Riverwind Casino, still the one. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. Sooner Sports TV personalities wardrobe is provided by Mizzen & Main and Class & Curve. Hair and makeup provided by Clementine Hair and Lounge.
Oklahoma led by as many as 8 in the opening half. Their lead is 3 at the break. Welcome back inside the Lloyd Noble Center. We look at your halftime statistics. They are presented by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. I think the thing that stands out, Brendan, the number of threes that Oklahoma has shot. 15 of their 27 shots have been threes.
Yeah, and I think that maybe a negative of making 18 threes in their exhibition is these guys thinking they're a three-point shooting team. They're not a three-point shooting team. They are a ball movement team predicated on getting to the heart of the defense, off the bounce or touches inside. And then if those threes come, so they've got to get to the paint and start there here in the second half. The other thing is Northwestern State's hanging on the glass.
Yeah.
And that was a concern of Coach Moser. And then obviously 8 turnovers, too many. They got to clean that up.
Sooners headed back down the tunnel. That means the second half is coming up next. Sooner basketball is presented by OU Health. Student section showing up for Porter Moser's debut at the Lloyd Noble Center tonight. That has been a big focus for the new Oklahoma head coach, getting the fans out, getting the kids out. And they have certainly done so here this evening. So a lot of students in attendance, including one who is very popular. In fact, drew a round of applause. This guy, Sooner quarterback Caleb Williams, being shown on the video board. He's now moving over and right in the middle of the student section. They've saved him a nice, comfortable spot right there courtside to watch the Sooners.
Hey, he has the same cool, calm demeanor in the stands with the students as he does in the pocket.
Yeah, he does. Been taking a bunch of pictures with fans, but now he gets to enjoy just being a student. Just another guy. Caleb Williams and the Sooners will be down in Waco to take on Baylor. 11 a.m. is kickoff on Saturday. So Porter Moser, halftime adjustments. What do you think his message was in that locker room, Brendan?
Well, I would assume it's what we just talked about. I think they have to really concentrate on working inside out. Tanner Groves has had success in the paint with his back to the basket or facing up in 10 feet or in. And you see right now, spaced around him, that's first and foremost. Work inside out to get those threes. And then you've got to look to drive. And there's Harkless right there.
Ouch.
And we talked about the three-point shot, Chad, but to expand on the first half stats a little further, Sooners went to the line twice or once for 2 free throws. That was it. And this is not a team that is going to be able to survive just being a jump shooting team. So that was probably the offensively what Coach Moser and the staff spent the most time on at halftime.
Elijah Harkless misses that foul shot. Still scoreless on the night. His first trip to the free throw line. Porter Moser talked with us today about, you make 18 threes, and he said, I think maybe the most important part, number one, the ball movement, but the right guys taking threes. Not that some guys are not allowed to shoot, but you want your good shooters, you want your makers taking shots. Quick shot by Coleman, and he's having a night. Coleman's got 14 now to lead all scorers.
Yeah, 12 of Northwestern State's 25 in the first half, and picking up where he left off.
Emoji Gibson, some penetration, no. Northwestern State with a chance to retake the lead as White shut down initially. This is Jalen King, and a Sooner foul on Elijah Harkless. That will be the first on him.
And to begin the second half, Mike McConaughey has those 2 JUCO wings, King and Garrett, in there.
Out of bounds, they say the Sooners touched it last as Jalen King went down hard. King, one of those JUCO guys you mentioned, South Georgia State College, a couple of seasons there.
Yeah, and only 6'5", but he's an excellent rebounder, and that'll really translate, especially in their league.
Shot clock down to 7. Brian White rubbing off a screen by Garrett. Can't shake Jalen Hill, who swats his shot and takes it the other way for the Sooners. Hill behind the back. Euro step. Yes, sir. And the finish. Jalen Hill. Defense creating offense.
Yeah, that's the thing about Hill defensively. We talk about versatility, and you immediately think offense, but he's versatile on the defensive end of the floor. Hey, Northwestern State's quickest guy, he kept in front, and then he was sound and forced that turnover.
Elijah Harkless for Gibson. He rings one home. Sooners hot out of the gate in the second half. Out and running and knocking down threes. Timeout Northwestern State. Sooners by 6. Out and running.
Well, 2 quick buckets, both ignited by Jalen Hill. The layup before. This rebound ignites a break. Quick run out of the gate by Oklahoma.
Sooners getting a little bit of breathing room, and a timeout taken by Mike McConaughey and the Demons, but 33-27. It's always about the defense with Porter Moser's teams.
Well, again, this is White for Northwestern State. That's when Hill did a great job of containing, and he doesn't leave his feet. He just uses his size. Smart play, sound play defensively leads to a bucket. And here he is, immediately on the other end, defensive board. Advance pass up to Harkless, and there's Gibson spotted up in the corner in transition. Catch and shoot. Gibson, Chad, 1 of 6 from 3 the first half. Knocks that down. Look for him. He's one of those shooters. Now the basket opens up a little bit. I can see Gibson getting hot here shortly.
Jalen Hill continues to show his versatility. Now, you're going to see his offensive improvement as the year goes on, but until then, it's that physical play. He's a bigger guy than you might think. When you stand up close to him, Brendan, you see every bit of the 6'7", 6'8" frame that he has.
Yeah, he's kind of one of those guys, you know, from across the floor, you think, oh, he's got good size, and as you come up on Hill, you're like, man, that's a good size fella. I don't know if they list him, but he's one of the few guys in the country where they list him shorter than he really is. Usually they give him like 2.5 inches taller than they are. But he's 6'7", 6'8".
It's a good timeout by Mike McConaughey, Brendan.
It was. And what that tells me is, you know, it's a 6-point game early in the second half, and you would certainly be pleased with that if you knew that going in. But that tells me he has a sense if they can hang around, you know, they can have a chance at the end. That was a complete timeout trying to win the ball game, not save it, you know, on the road against a more talented and more physical team.
Northwestern State had gotten within 1. The Sooners this 6-point lead. They'll get Larry Owens back into the game. Didn't have a great offensive first half. Owens only 4 points, but he was involved.
Yeah, and they were able to play he and Coleman quite a bit together. And I think that was something that was real important of them hanging around, and they did.
Owens called for traveling with it, bumping bodies in there with Tanner Groves.
So when Owens caught it in there, Groves did a great job of just being strong. Once he catches it there, be strong. Don't give up an angle. Solid defense on the interior.
Tanner Groves, a screen for Goldwire. Shot clock at 8 for the Sooners. Harkless finds a little seam. A kick out 3. Jalen Hill got it.
So it's pretty simple. The reason that 3 is better is you got 2 paint touches off the drive. Force help. It's just classic penetrate and pitch. And Hill able to catch and shoot in rhythm. Wide open.
Sooners a 7-0 run. Jalen Hill's shot deemed a 2. So 35-27. Harkless to Tanner Groves. Foul by Owens.
Larry Owens, 32, Northwestern State. That's his first.
So Tanner Groves at 35-27, a chance at a couple of free throws here.
Hey, you see right there, Chad, what Gibson did is he waited on the ball screen. He waited. And so you force the defense's hand. If you don't wait and nothing gets established, then it's all for naught. It's 2 ships passing in the night. But because Gibson is able to wait on it, come hard off of it, he's able to get it to Groves. That's good pick and roll game right there.
Oh, look at Jalen Hill. Bouncing up, active, energetic, and the Sooners have their largest lead, 11 points.
So if Oklahoma wants to make it a little easier on themselves, it's this end of the floor that's going to extend the game.
There's Owens circling underneath, and they'll whistle Tanner Groves for the foul. Northwestern State had cut it to a 1-point game, but Oklahoma's on a 10-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes. They lead by 11.
The Sooner Sports Podcast is your all-access radio pass to Sooner Sports. Listen as Toby Rowland and Chris Plank talk all things Sooners. New episodes drop every day. Log on to Soonersports.com/podcast or search Sooner Sports Podcast in your favorite podcast provider. The Sooner Sports Podcast is presented by Allstate and Riverwind Casino. Log on to Soonersports.com/kids for information about joining the Sooner Junior Kids Club presented by OG&E. Brought to you in part by Orthodontics Exclusively and the Oklahoma Healthcare Authority.
Sooners have a 10-0 run in progress to lead 38-27. Welcome back inside the Lloyd Noble Center. Jalen Hill has been super active. He's got 6 points already in the second half. Time for a look at the road ahead, presented by your Oklahoma Buick GMC dealers. Steve Henson brings his UTSA squad here to the Lloyd Noble Center, 7 o'clock on Friday. And then out to Myrtle Beach. First opponent there for the Sooners will be East Carolina. And back home on the 24th for Houston Baptist. Challenging schedule. That's a rough run there for Porter Moser's team at UCF, Florida, and then Butler.
Yeah, a couple things. Those are two really good non-conference games here in Lloyd Noble Center, Florida and Butler. You know, so hopefully Oklahoma fans are paying attention and come get really good games here well before conference starts. The other point I was going to make is you're going to Myrtle Beach, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm not, but I'll be here for the Houston Baptist game.
Perfect.
So I don't really know what that says.
Yeah. I'll bring you a souvenir from the beach.
You're ahead in the pecking order. There is no doubt.
I know people. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
So Owens gets 1 of 2. Quiets the crowd just a bit. Sooner lead is now 10. That breaks up a 10-0 Oklahoma run. Nolan for 3 out of the corner. The freshman knocking one home.
So, of all the players on Oklahoma's team, if the only thing I could do, Chad, was shoot it. But as a shooter looking at other guys shooting it, it just looks good when C.J. Nolan shoots it. I mean, it's high and soft. He's got great feet, shoulders square.
Look at Mason on the attack. The other freshman to the window. Count it. Let's hope everybody's okay. It's Jalen Hill very slow to get up, along with Alston Mason.
Bang his head right there?
I don't think so. I think he just kind of got undercut a little bit as Mason was tumbling down. And Jalen Hill's going to get a breather, replaced by Jacob Groves. Ethan Shagwa back into the Sooner lineup as well. So a 3-point opportunity for Alston Mason. He was born in Belgium, Overland Park, Kansas, Blue Valley Northwest High School. Clayton Custer, who's on the Sooner staff as a video coordinator, also a Blue Valley Northwest High School. So there's a connection. He was recruited by Porter Moser to Loyola Chicago. And when Porter came here to Oklahoma, Alston Mason followed.
In the adjective, the first adjective used to describe Mason was slippery. And I think we saw a little glimpse of it right there.
That 3 is good from Amarian McDonald. The timeout as the ball rolls away. We told you about McDonald. Highest rated recruit in 10 years at Northwestern State. Scotlandville High School, spent 1 year there, and Red River High School, which is only about 25 miles north of Natchitoches.
Yeah, and some publications rated him as a 4-star, and so that is huge at a place like Northwestern State. Says a lot about Mike McConaughey. But no question, his thing is shooting the basketball.
Harkless, tough double clutch as he got some paint.
So there has to be more of that from Harkless. His scoring, I mentioned, I do think he's an improved spot-up shooter from 3, but certainly not an elite shooter there.
Shagwa contact on Owens, who finished.
I was going to say, Chad, he's got to continue to drive it. Now, they haven't had a lot of success, Northwestern State, with getting Owens free, but that was a concern of Porter Moser. Him getting those post-ups about mid-lane, and then Northwestern State clearing out that weak side. That was really well executed by the Demons right there.
We showed you that Trey Young explosive 22 assist game against Northwestern State. That same game, this guy played in it, Larry Owens. He had 16 and 7 in that game against the Sooners as a freshman. Tanner Groves returns. Goldwire back in as well for the Sooners. 11-point Oklahoma lead at the 14-minute mark of the second half. Goldwire bounces high, just rising to drop that one home.
Yeah, like a lot of really good veteran point guards that know how to play. They keep their dribble alive until the opportunity comes. And that's what he did right there.
Ginty.
Nice.
Tough leaner down on the baseline for Zarabi Ginty.
Made a couple nice offensive plays today. One of those 3 JUCO transfers that Mike McConaughey signed.
Both Groves brothers in there. Jacob attacks and pitches over to Harkless. Tough runner there. A little contact with Jordan Potts, but no foul.
Now, right there, if you're Harkless, you just got to go to the rim. Don't anticipate the contact. You just drive it to go score.
Marion McDonald missing. And a run ahead for Jacob Groves. He scores. That's his first bucket of the night after he made 6 threes in the exhibition game.
Yeah, I thought for a second I was going to say he made that shot tougher than it needed to be, but saw the nice touch right there. He's got such a high release. That was part of his ability against Rogers State in the exhibition to knock down those 6 threes, Chad, is because at 6'9" and a high release, it's tough to close out on him.
They get Harkless for the foul, trying to reach around and gain the steal. That's 2 on Elijah, and he'll be replaced by Umoja Gibson. Northwestern State returns Kendall Coleman, leading scorer in this game. He's got 14. He's also got 2 fouls. Jalen Hill returns for C.J. Nolan. Coleman, I mean, he's hit a couple of those with Tanner Groves right in his face.
Yeah, well defended by Groves, but boy, Coleman, his ability to post and face up is tough.
Umoja Gibson finding his rhythm in this second half. He could have a really explosive season for this team, couldn't he?
I don't think there's any question. You know, last year, I mean, you have Harmon, Reeves, and Manick. It's not that Gibson didn't have the ability to score more. He just didn't need to.
Here comes Goldwire. Gibson got a step, and that's all he needs. He's fouled as well. Umoja Gibson having a second half. He's got 13 now, and he's headed to the stripe.
Well, when you have the ability to be an elite three-point shooter, they have to close out and run you off the line. And then you play off of that, and what do? You drive it straight to the rim.
The Oklahoma Highway Safety Office is a proud sponsor of OU Athletics and wants to remind you that drinking and driving is deadly and illegal. Together, we can end DUI. Visit ndUIOK.com for more information.
It's a 14-point Sooner lead, and I think some Halloween remnants here playing tic-tac-toe. Oh, boy. It was a good effort.
What do we have?
We like guys that'll get on the floor for loose balls. All good with that. Students entertained by it. Take a look at Kincaid Coach Line's upcoming Sooner home athletic events. Sooner softball is selling out exhibition games just a couple of blocks away from here, Brendan.
Are you serious?
I am absolutely serious. You can't get a ticket. Now, of course, brand new Love's Field is coming here in the next couple of years, so you might be able to get a ticket for exhibition games in the future. Yeah, it's fantastic. We told you about the men's and women's basketball doubleheader that's coming up on Friday here at the Lloyd Noble Center. Football is back home a week from Saturday to host Iowa State, and volleyball has its final home matches the 23rd and 24th over at McCaslin Fieldhouse. A lot of things to do. You got the crossover between the fall and winter sports right now. So Umoja Gibson, anything different about him here in the second half? Obviously, yeah, he scored a lot more points, but why?
Well, I mean, you look at a couple of his threes early in the game. Remember the one that was highly contested and had no ball movement, and you know, it wasn't even tipped, and it was an air ball. And then he took another quick one. He's taking them with the flow of the offense, and the shots are coming away from the ball. And shooters, Chad, you get your shots away from the ball, and so he's letting it travel to him. And I mentioned earlier he made that one at the beginning of this half, and he's kind of a guy. I mean, it takes about one, and then he gets into the flow.
Same thing for this guy, Jacob Groves, but not this time. Owens chases down the rebound. Sooners shooting 56% from the field on the night. This is Jordan Potts. Jalen Hill right with him as the shot clock plays down to 10. Coleman posts. They get him one-on-one against Jacob Groves. Coleman will, I believe, go to the foul line. I think they called that on the shot. If they did.
Man, I like Coleman. I mean, we've talked about it, Chad. We've seen him step out, particularly that elbow area, 15, 17 feet. He's been pure there multiple times tonight. There he is on the block. He's got great versatility. Just a second-year guy.
Now, this is a Northwestern State program that does not shy away. I mean, over the years, last 20 years since Mike McConaughey has been in charge of the program, you would say they play the toughest non-conference schedule in the country. And I'm not exaggerating that with the types of teams they go and play and have beaten in the past.
Go to University of Tulsa tomorrow night.
You and I are going to be up there calling that game at the Reynolds Center against Frank Haith's Golden Hurricane. Again, it's Tanner Groves. Sooners having an excellent night passing the ball, and that guy, Jordan Goldwire, has led the way. That's 4 assists.
And where Groves has had success tonight's been in the paint. And so they need to continue to do the pick and rolls or your straight true post-ups. That's all you need from him. That's a tough matchup from Northwestern State.
Shot clock plays down to 6 for Northwestern State. They got to get one off here. Amarian McDonald lobs that one up to the rim. And here's Umoja Gibson speeding back the other way.
There you go. I like it.
Again, Goldwire trying to find Tanner Groves.
See, in the first half, Groves was taking that three. I mean, not a highly contested three, but maybe marginal. Passes it up, throws it to the wing. You know, seems he's going to go for the ball screen, but a good slip right there. That's good communication. And Goldwire and Groves almost hook up on it.
Groves left wide open. He takes it this time and makes it.
There you go.
15 now for Tanner Groves tonight.
Yeah, just take what they give you and begin working inside out.
Jalen Hill nearly had himself another steal. Oklahoma, you said paint touches get the ball inside. They've outscored Northwestern State 14-2 in the paint this half.
And we talked about at halftime, 15 of their what, Chad? 27 field goal attempts were from three-point range. They've only taken 5 threes here the second half.
Brian White able to wiggle free and lay the ball in. 19-point lead for the Sooners, approaching 9 minutes left. Sansa has entered the Oklahoma lineup, and there goes Jalen Hill. Got a step, finished, physicality to get that ball to go, and he'll go to the foul line. This has been the difference maker, this guy here in the second half.
Yeah, you know, Chad, even his freshman year, I just liked some of the things he did. He's in the right spots defensively. Good rebounder, good defender, good passer, doesn't turn it over much. And really, the last 2 seasons, to me, was kind of an unsung guy. And I love those guys that just know how to play. And obviously the next step, which they really need him to make, are what we saw in the last possessions, some offensive punch from him since they lost their leading scores last year.
Owen somehow got that ball up to the glass and in.
I don't know if I'd be showing my muscles down 20. He shushed the crowd earlier down about 14, and I didn't say anything.
20, you got to draw a line somewhere. I mean, Jalen Hill for 3 out of the corner. White sprints back to the rim the other way and draws a foul. Jalen Hill's got 15 points and 7 rebounds. And he's got a dozen points here in the second half. So you're saying the down 20 flex? No?
Just, I'm glad he's having fun. And he's playing well.
Ryan White, that ball rims out for him. Led this team in assists a couple of years ago. They also had a player, C.J. Jones, who was at the point guard spot, decided not to exercise his extra season. Players got that COVID year, and not everybody wanted to come back and play on a lot of these rosters around the country. A lot of kids did, but some just want to get on with life. You got other goals, you got other things you want to do. Well, full court pressure.
Well, I know what I would have done.
Yeah, but you also would have flexed down 20 on the road. No?
No way. I think I knew my place. Well, and if I didn't, I had a coach that would tell you.
White circles. There's LaTerrence Reed and a steal. C.J. Noland and the finish.
Nolan has really good feel. Obviously, offensively, talented guy, can shoot it. You know, off-ball movement, really good at getting downhill. Right, great anticipation right there on the defensive end. Dad, a really good player against K-State. In fact, he was a junior at K-State my senior year at Oklahoma State.
Belvis Nolan, his dad. Mason, the other freshman, glides to the window and finishes. These two are talented. Porter Moser and the staff very excited, and we're seeing glimpses why tonight.
Yeah, and he's going to play them. I mean, there has been no easing them in. I mean, you know, nothing is set in stone one game into the season, but they're certainly part of, you know, what appears to be a 9 or 10 player rotation as of now. I mean, they're in there, and he's confident in them.
Mason steps back off a Shagwa screen, but missed it.
And then their close scrimmage was, you know, which a lot of the details you don't know. But I know that he scored really well, Mason, in that. He was impressive. One of Oklahoma's leading scorers in that. That's the first time out of the gate against major college competition.
Nolan runs ahead for another easy lay-in. Sooners lead by 26. That was hotly contested in there by Harkless, but Jalen King still got it to go. And we've got a timeout. Oklahoma starting to really pull away from Mike McConaughey's Demons. Porter Moser's debut successful so far. OU basketball is presented by OU Health. It's a 24-point Sooner lead, just under 6 minutes remaining. Welcome back inside the Lloyd Noble Center. Time for our StubHub move of the game. And Jalen Hill, this was a tone setter, Brendan, to start this second half.
This was when Oklahoma started separating. This ignites a little 5-0 run. Momentum shifted. Oklahoma's really never looked back. It's solid defense using his size against a smaller guard. And then, the hustles, what's just behind the back? Boom, right there.
And a Euro step. I like it all.
Yeah, good skill. Boy, he's been really good tonight. 15 points on 6 of 7 shooting, Chad. That's about as efficient as you can get.
StubHub, your ticket out, and the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of Oklahoma Athletics. Defense leading to offense. Porter Moser still coaching them up. He's talking there with the freshman Alston Mason over on the sideline. You want to talk about energy. This guy brings it every single day, does Porter Moser.
Yeah, and I don't throw this around loosely. Just like I don't throw around somebody that can shoot. I have high standards. But
no, who can make, not just shoot.
Right, exactly. No, he's a teacher. He really is. It's here's what we expect out of you. Here's what we want you to do. And here's why. And here's how it benefits us and how it benefits you. And that's what teachers do.
He was an assistant for Rick Majerus at St. Louis, as this three is knocked down by Zinti, who's had a good night. But he talks about things taught to him by Coach Majerus, and one of those was exactly what you just mentioned, the why. Players want to know the why. It's important to them. Harkless spins. That's a tough shot. Pretty well defended by Cedric Garrett.
Yeah, really good job of Garrett right there, not giving up the angle to Harkless.
Coleman still working hard in there. Up over Shagwa. Jalen Hill came over, and Coleman didn't care.
Yeah, and one of the things when you watch Coleman, when he catches it on the interior, you notice when he caught, he had the defender on the high side, and there was no hesitation. He felt that. He knew that was the right move, and that's why it was quick to the rim.
So 7 straight points for Northwestern State. Sooners going to take a timeout, and it'll be a full timeout. Coleman still working hard in there. Mike McConaughey still coaching his team hard. Northwestern State, as we said, they're going to play at Tulsa tomorrow. Other games they have at SMU. They'll take on Kelvin Sampson's Houston team on the road. They go to LSU, to Texas A&M, to Baylor, the defending national champion. And they've beaten some of these teams. You and I called a game many years ago. They won in Stillwater against Oklahoma State. Mike McConaughey's taken them to the NCAA tournament twice during his tenure down in Natchitoches. And they don't shy away. Thus, moments like this don't scare them at all.
No, and that's part of part of the life with them. And one of the things I've always appreciated about him, in addition to Coach McConaughey being really good to you and I, is he's a great player. He's been a highly successful coach. And he could have gone and done other things or gone to other places, but he has stayed there. There's been consistency in a world where not everybody, that's not fair. Most people, most coaches are ready to jump. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I really admire somebody that spends a career somewhere when they maybe could have chased more money or a little bit more prestige.
Mm-hmm. He was telling us a story today. He's followed Porter Moser and extremely impressed to follow Porter Moser's career. And Mike McConaughey was telling us 2005 NCAA tournament, McConaughey's team beat Iowa. They pulled an upset in that tournament. They were in the Detroit Regional. And Porter Moser's Illinois State team, and he had resurrected Illinois State. Had Porter Moser done a great job, they had the potential to meet in that regional. So Mike McConaughey said, I had a close eye on Porter Moser. Knew back then that he was good, and I followed his career. It's been fun to watch him get to this point to where he's at Oklahoma.
You know what's interesting about both those guys? They were both really good guards, like really good players.
Waiting for play to resume. Sooners have 26 seconds on the shot clock.
You had Coach Moser there. Another observation I think both you and I have had is his intensity, but it's not an in-your-face, I'm gonna yell at you because I'm the boss intensity. It's a natural demeanor that he has, but it's a really good balance of encouragement, being demanding, and also you know, patting him on the rear when it's necessary, but not afraid, no matter who you are. Hey, the first practice you and I were at, he was on, Goldwire. Just made the layup right there for a guy that played in 116 games at Duke for Coach K, who started last year. I mean, he was on him. We want you to do this, and I think the other guys appreciate that when you're on, you know, your veteran guys who are your leaders.
Goldwire's had a good night, 7 points, 4 assists. Coleman in there with Groves. And they wipe away the basket. Call the foul on Tanner Groves. That's 3.
Again, to keep expanding on Coleman, he really uses his quickness on the post-ups. Groves has more size, in a decent amount of more size, probably 2 inches, and I don't know how many pounds, a bunch. But again, the catch, the no hesitation, there's no, okay, what do I do? I'm uncomfortable down here. I mean, it is attack immediately.
Coleman's got 19 now to lead all scorers, 19 points and 6 rebounds. And 9 of 12 from the field. His one tough spot's been here at the charity stripe.
He needs Tanner Groves in his face on those free throws.
One more degree of difficulty.
How many of those elbow jumpers did he hit with Tanner all up in him?
Hill had his pocket picked by Cedric Garrett, who glides the other way. 18-point game now with 3:23 left. Goldwire, another great dish. Jacob Groves missed the 3. You know, Goldwire's got 4 assists. Brendan, if guys just make shots, he's probably got 8.
Yeah, and I really like the way he's managed the game. And I don't think he's turned it over either. I mean, he led the ACC in assist to turnover ratio.
Yeah.
The ACC, not his team, the ACC.
Here's Gibson. Slipped a little bit and then arced that one up short. It's a Cedric Garrett launching. Rebound volleyball's over to King. And King will convert. And we've got a timeout at the end of the play. I don't think we had a foul. We've just got Goldwire and King both down, and they want to make sure they're both okay. And Goldwire, as Sooner trainer Rob Fulton comes out to check on Jordan Goldwire. They will help him off.
I don't want to speculate. Does that look like a cramp to you, Chad?
It does, and you hope that's what it is.
Yeah, obviously we don't know. I mean, I do think it's positive he popped up quick.
You see that left leg just kind of stiffen out there?
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of rubbing above the left knee. So Alston Mason returns.
You might get one of those maybe about 3:30 a.m. tonight? I tell you what.
Old guys.
Oh, tell me about it.
Shot clock is at 10 here from Mason. And Mason between defenders. And Elijah Harkless picks the pocket of McDonald. Elijah, the finish the other way.
We mentioned on-ball defense for Oklahoma has a chance to be really, really good with some of their personnel. And Harkless, one of the best last year in the Big 12 Conference in terms of steals on-ball defense.
This is Ginty with a kick out. Cedric Garrett lines one up. Minute 15 left. So the Sooners going to win in Porter Moser's debut as head coach. Led by 26 here in the second half. Concerted defensive effort spurred by Jalen Hill to start the half. And Oklahoma turns their attention to UTSA on Friday night here at the Lloyd Noble Center. Steve Henson bringing his team to town. Sooner basketball is brought to you in part by the Oklahoma Education Association, fighting unapologetically for every student across the state, no matter their zip code. You see one of the freshmen, Bijan Cortez out of Kingfisher, will get some playing time here. Blake Seacat also. You see the first appearance of Marvin Johnson and Nicole Maywin. So a fresh five out there. You got C.J. Nolan as well. There's a leaner from Jordan Potts. And a quick timeout. The Sooners will substitute and get Jake Moser into the game. We'll take a moment to remind you that Sooner basketball is brought to you in part by Riverwind. Still the one. Jake Moser, son of the head coach, and his sister Jordan is with Sooner women. Sister plays for Jenny Baranchek's Sooner women. They're up in South Dakota tonight. Here is Bijan Cortez attacking the basket. Sooner women, by the way, lead 66-64 at South Dakota with about 2 minutes left in that game in the fourth quarter. It would be a good opening road win for them. Bijan Cortez out of Kingfisher, state champion there in high school.
You know, I thought in this exhibition against Rogers State, Bijan, you know, a lot of times your first time out, you're nervous. But he was very relaxed. He played really well. Obviously, tough kid, well coached in high school. But I was impressed. I mean, if they have to go to him, I think they're comfortable with that too.
So time is going to tick away on the first win of the Porter Moser era of Oklahoma basketball. Sooners win 77-59. We welcome you into the Bud Light postgame show. Bud Light, this one's for the fans, reminding you to please drink responsibly. So the Sooners, a second half where they were led by Jalen Hill. Jalen had 15 points and 8 rebounds, but our player of the game tonight is Tanner Groves, the Eastern Washington transfer, as Tanner Groves tonight ends up with 15 points, 9 rebounds, made a couple of threes, and just kind of showed you his repertoire.
Yeah, we talked about don't let 1 of 3, only taking 3 shots against Rogers State fool you. This is going to be a guy, a very integral part of Porter Moser's offense. He has versatility inside out. He's smart. With the exception of a couple of maybe marginal threes, he really did a great job tonight, Chad, of taking what the defense gives. And you see his 15 points on 6 of 9 shooting. And those 9 rebounds, quite honestly, were a little bit quiet. Understand spacing. Here's miscommunication from Northwestern State, and Tanner Groves makes good. But you see his versatility. Again, very intelligent offensive player, knows how to play in the half-court set.
You might give a close second to Jalen Hill, Brendan, in particular, the second half, turning the defense into offense on the other end and helping spur this Sooner attack. Jalen Hill had 15 points and 8 rebounds. 12 points and 5 rebounds in the second half as Oklahoma was able to pull away and get the win. And you see Tanner Groves, and there's the head coach celebrating with top dog. And Elijah Harkless, head coach, is going to join us here courtside after enjoying a few moments with the fans. So appreciative of those who came out to watch. We hope everybody can be here again 7 o'clock on Friday night as Oklahoma takes on UTSA, part of a women's and then men's basketball doubleheader. Full day of activity at the Lloyd Noble Center. There goes Elijah Harkless back toward the Sooner locker room as Elijah tonight ends up with 4 points, 2 of 8 from the field. He had 3 rebounds and 3 assists. And we're joined now by the Sooner head coach, Porter Moser. Your debut as for real tonight, not exhibition time. How'd it feel to you? What'd you think, Coach?
You know, I love the students. That's why I went over there. I thought the students really helped. I thought in the second half when they were on the foul line, I thought that student section was great. You know, obviously there's first game, there's a lot of things, you know, that we need to have the arrow going up. But I thought how we came out in the second half defensively really helped. And I think the other thing, the teaching point you've got to take from this is I thought we had some lows where we didn't guard, but we had some lows where we really did guard. And when our shot's not falling like it wasn't falling, we've got to guard. And that helps us win games. You can win games not shooting well. You can't win games if you're not guarding. And we didn't shoot particularly great tonight. I didn't think. I thought we missed a ton of shots. And then I thought we played our shot selection. The only time I thought our shot selection was bad was when we had a lead. Yeah. I thought like we had like 3 or 4 just, and we let them hang around. I think we were up 20 something, and that's when you want to have great possessions. So I did think our defense created some offense in the second half as well.
Jalen Hill kind of provided a spark. There was that block and transition bucket he got.
Jalen Hill was terrific. I thought his energy to start the second half was really a difference in everything. And I thought Jalen Hill, and I thought Jordan Gowar made so many winning plays in that game, he made everybody better. He controlled the game, and I thought Jordan had a great game too.
Yeah, Goldwire, 4 assists, no turnovers. Chad and I talked about, Coach, during the broadcast, he could have had many more assists than he did, but good game management. But that's what you brought him in for, right? Is to lead your team and be a general on the floor.
He was. He really did a lot of good things, you know, that we noticed as coaches, just like getting us in the right things, handling different things. I mean, he started the domino a bunch of times. So I was really pleased with how he played. And, you know, we're going to get better. I mean, the first time, I don't think we played particularly great, like when they started to make a comeback in the first half. You know, I really thought Kendall Coleman, you know, was really good. He had 19. He kept on hitting that 15-footer, which he hasn't shown. You know, we didn't have any tape on him for this year, but previous years he hadn't shown he could hit that, and he really came out and hit that today.
Coach, what was the message at halftime? You obviously talked about offensively much better, but it looked to me like you weren't selling for the 3. You made 4 of your first 5 threes, but it was within the realm of more of your ball movement and getting paint touches first.
Well, that's what we told Mo. Mo's got the green light, but he's got to understand, if we go 2 or 3 possessions in a row where you don't score, you need a paint touch. You don't need, if they scored like 1 or 2 in a row, you don't need to come down and shoot a 25-footer with a hand in the face. Like if we got a roll going, that's one thing. But so I thought we weren't picking and choosing our shots, you know, when they were rolling. I thought they were pressing. I thought some of the veterans, I thought EJ and Mo were pressing. They wanted to do well so bad. And you could tell with some of the shots they took, like that last one that Mo took. He just went on his own and just tried to shoot a floater over. And EJ did the same thing coming out of timeout. They want to do well. They just got to learn and how to come out of the flow of it.
You get your first one under your belt. UTSA coming up on Friday evening, so you get a couple 3 days away from the court of action. Get back in the practice gym. What'll be the main emphasis?
Is executing. I thought what Northwestern State did was something different than we've seen. They were really trying to blow up all the handoffs. They were really trying to deny us and take us out of everything. And that's when you got to make a hard cuts. You got to set up. I really thought their extended pressure, like, we haven't seen that, you know, in the first 2 opponents, and it's great for us to see that. I thought that's going to prepare us for other games when I mean, literally every dribble handoff, and we were trying to reverse it through Tanner. They were denying that. They were denying everywhere. And you got to loosen them up, both a backdoor, a back cut, a fill. So we're going to get better at that as well. But UTSA, we know Steve Henson was here. He's a very good coach, Conference USA team. But here's the thing about these games. You start getting better at You know, we got to get some under our belt to continue to get teaching moments.
Coach, we appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Win number 1 of many here at the University of Oklahoma. Porter Moser, the head coach, dropping by to see us here on the Bud Light postgame show. There's OU fan, and everybody just enjoyed a good evening as we take a look at your final stats presented by Taco Mayo. Big appetite, bigger savings. Download and save today. I think it was 17 three-point attempts in the first half, Brendan, for the Sooners. You see they finished with 25, what the head coach was talking about right there. Take good shots if you're going to take threes.
Yeah, they ended up being 5 of 10 the second half. I'm not positive on this, but I think they made 5 of their first 8. And like we just asked him, it started coming within the realm of the offense. And I loved how they adjusted the second half. Obviously, that's what you use halftime for if you're a coach, adjustments and points of emphasis. You know, and the other thing that they did, in addition to better execution offensively, is they had 8 turnovers in the first half. It's amazing when you curtail your turnovers and you take care of the basketball. You don't have empty possessions. So they only had 3 turnovers the second half, and that was a big part of Oklahoma's success offensively.
You know, you mentioned during the broadcast, Jordan Goldwire, he led the ACC in assist-to-turnover ratio. Tonight, he looked that part. He gets 4 assists. We said if guys knock down some shots, he probably has 7, 8 assists, but didn't turn the ball over one time. If you're going to play in the Big 12, you've got to have a lead guard like this out front.
And I think that this is going to be a strength of Oklahoma again this year, like it's been the last couple, is ball security. And he will be at the forefront of that. And I loved his decision-making, and I know Coach Moser did, as he said to us.
Final score is 77-59. Season opening win for Oklahoma and an era opening win for Porter Moser as the head coach inside the Lloyd Noble Center. Our next broadcast, 10:30 a.m. on Friday morning. We'll see Jenny Baranczyk, Sooner Women. For Brendan Manzer, I'm Chad McKee.